What's up, y'all? It's Christine Pelaez, ADHD, bipolar type 1, nurse, and your host of Soul Centered, a mental health podcast about all things taboo, vulnerable, and soul searching. I talk mental health to free us all from capitalism. On today's episode, I want to talk about something that has been occupying my mind and my time. We lost our house. So this is a sad but potentially redeeming story. Okay. And it's something that I've been wanting to tell you about. Yeah, because I think it's something that happens, unfortunately. Before we begin, we are back here to this space. Um, I wasn't as into the composition. So composition is the when you take a picture. When you take a picture, it's and I'm also getting over COVID. It wasn't that bad for me. It felt like a mild cold. I'm talking about composition. So when you take a picture, it's like how you frame and how you put the things inside the photo or the box. So I wasn't super into the composition before. I am sitting on two poofs right now. The two poofs that I own. I have one too many, I think. Anyway, um, negative self talk is still something that I'm working on. I feel like negative self talk is quite common. So, anywho, that doesn't make it okay. Um, yeah, something to work on, right? We should all be nice and kind to ourselves. Did we talk about that one time? I think that might have my lowest views. Like, kind self talk is not a topic that people are into, apparently. Okay, so we're talking about composition. So, yeah, um, this composition, I'm kind of skewed to the side, but hopefully in a still aesthetic way. I am highlighting this plant. It's a pothos, and um, and I hope you can see this little speck of pink that's there. It's a little like stuffed animal thing. I have a few scattered around the house. Yeah, I think we've talked before about how my decor can be kind of kitschy. It has a lot of faces. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna lean back so I can relax and we can just talk because it's been a while. Yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't met up with you in a while, but I usually when I talk with you in this manner, it's because I feel inspired, and today I felt inspired. So that is like the end of our story because it was like a good inspiration that I felt. Uh, so okay, I'm thinking about where to begin. Our current family home was bought. I had to do, okay, let me tell you this too. So when we were first engaged in all this, I'm going to call it legal trouble, my sister was the one in charge. I have one sister, Nicole, and she was the one kind of like spearheading the whole thing and like helping to talk to the lawyers and stuff like that. But that fell through. And my sister, who's now a nurse too, like also, um, she she has like a new job that's Monday through Friday, and so it turned into me needing to manage everything. So okay, timelines. Do we need to? Timelines are necessary. Okay, so we bought the house. We, as in my family, right? I didn't buy it. My parents bought the house in 2004. In 2006, they took out a loan from the house and it's called equity. Equity, I didn't dig deep on the meaning, but I think it is you are borrowing from, because it's a loan, and a loan is something you borrow. You borrow from the portion of the house that has theoretically started making money, if that makes sense. Like it's you're not, because you already have okay, you've already taken out a mortgage, right? You've already taken out a loan to buy the house. And now over time, this is why they say that homes are a good investment, because they start to become more valuable. And so that increase in value is what you can take a loan from equity. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so in 2006, they took out a line of equity. In 2010, they filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 7, and this matters, Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13. I learned all this shit, man. I learned all this shit that I didn't want to learn. Okay, so um, Chapter 7 is significant because you file for bankruptcy. So when you file for bankruptcy, okay, uh, easy way to think about it, because I don't know the in-depth version. Like this attorney tried to explain it to me, and I was like, whoa, a little bit over my head. So, so you file for bankruptcy when you can't afford all of your responsibilities. You can't afford it anymore. It's too much. So then you are asking a court to please, you beg of them, rid you from from your responsibilities. And then with that, your credit is going to go down the drain, because yeah, with that, your credit is going to go down the drain and other things. So you are free from most of your debt, the things you owe, but you are not, you are still responsible for the debt, or the loans and the mortgage. So everything that's tied to your house are still into effect, with a caveat, with an asterisk, with a star. An equity line gives you a grace period of 10 years or so, more or less. Like, we owe, you know what, poor you can't pay your fucking bills. You know what, we'll give you a pass for a decade or so. We'll give you a pass. We won't expect you to pay us back right now, but in a decade or so, we're going to come back and remind you that you owe us money. That's what happened here. This is what happened. And then also, what happened was, that's significant to this story, is my mom died unexpectedly in 2017. She was the head of the household. She was head honcho. She was in charge of all of the finances. My dad didn't know shit, just signed whatever she wanted him to sign, right? So that sucks. That sucks, because then in 2023, we started getting notices. And this house was in Woodland. You probably don't know where Woodland is. Woodland is by Sacramento. Maybe you know where Sacramento is. It's the capital of California. It's in Northern California. Anywho, it's fucking far away from the Bay Area. Not that hella far, but an hour and a half, no traffic. I'm still bitter, like, as to, like, okay, I get it. They lost their. Okay, I'm going on a tangent now, on a angry tangent for some reason. So, like, I'm still like, why the fuck? I get it because of jobs, but I got pretty bitter when we moved to Woodland, because I'm Filipino, right? I'm ethnic. Like, that matters. What matters when you're growing up is being surrounded by people that look like you. It matters, because it makes you feel like you belong. Like, there's something not wrong with you. It makes you feel like you can inherently connect with somebody without having to explain. So I didn't realize that was a privilege I was afforded when I grew up in San Jose, East Side San Jose, San Ho, The ghetto side. Oh, I didn't get shot? Yeah, I didn't get shot in East Side San Jose. Is it that ghetto? I don't even know if it's that. Ooh, zoomies. My cat just phew, zoomed away. So, San Jose. And then we moved to Woodland. And like Woodland, the demographic there is very few Asians. Ooh, who texted me? Very few Asians. Ooh, they want my attention. BRB. Okay, they can wait. You and I, we don't talk that often, so this is our time. Sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. Okay, what am I talking about? Talking about Woodland. Woodland, it was hella white people, not used to that at all, and Mexican, which I'm used to from Eastside San Jose. So anyway, I was like, what is and I was the first graduating class of my high school, Pioneer High School in 2006. Okay, yeah, I'm 36 years old. If you don't have to do the math. I'm 36 years old. So I was the first graduating class, and so oh God, I grew up in San Jose, East Side San Jose, and they had a rich like homecoming and all these kinds of stuff. All of these like class competitions. It was just so cool. Oh man, San Jose was so cool. Oh yeah, I miss it. I miss it, and I mean, I don't miss it in that way. I When I was in high school, we moved to Woodland when I was 16, right in the middle of high school. So, first graduating class. I mean, you could say like, "Oh, wow, but you really could have implemented things." Like, I'm one of these Asian girls like by myself. Am I going to implement things? I mean, I didn't. I could have maybe, but I didn't. It is notable though that I won, and I was the treasurer, senior class treasurer. Yeah, I'm kind of proud of myself for doing that. Anyway, so let's see, Woodland, Woodland. We moved to Woodland, and our house is in Woodland, and it's this nice, beautiful house. Like big, whatever. Not hella big. It had high ceilings, so it made it look hella big. It's 3 bedrooms, right? So anyway, this house in Woodland. What's my point? Oh, I forgot my point. My point is no one lived in this house. Like when mom died and dad got a new partner and his work was in Vacaville and his partner's apartment is in Vallejo, it's like of course he would mostly stay in Vallejo and it's closer. It's closer in distance. And so no one was living in this, beautiful house. And I'm not gonna live there, right? I want to be in the Bay, right? I'm in San Francisco. Like, yeah, and my sister too. My sister's back in the Bay. Like, what is out there? Like, SAC is cool, but it's not. It's hot. It's hot out there. So, anyway, okay, back to the story of losing the house, of this house that nobody lived in. You know, Pluto, you've met my cat. Pluto used to live there, and he used to live there and essentially not have a human to hang out with. You know what that's called? That's called animal abandonment. Like, yeah, our cats were pretty much abandoned for a while until I took them over. Oh, yeah, I was like, did you meet my white cat? No, you didn't meet my white cat. You know, this kind of gives me some shame to talk about it, but you know what? I tell you all my secrets. So here we go. Um, I first inherited the white cat that's named Itzy. Oh, I talked about Itzy in my memoir. Okay, I talked about Itzy in my memoir. I might have read you that chapter. Anyway, so yeah, because she died in this apartment that you're seeing right now. And Itzy was super independent, right? She was like an independent ass lady. Like you couldn't tell her what to do. You could barely pet her for 5 seconds. Like, she was cool. I like that. I realized I really like that because now this cat, honestly, man, I don't really like him. He's annoying. And then and my sisters get so sad when I say that, and my friend Genesis gets so sad. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm not meant to have a cat. But you know what? He has a good life. Don't worry. He has a good life. And I let him do what he wants. And sometimes that's what that is annoying me. Meow, 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 meow. At least he's not meowing hella now. Like you feel like, Christine, he doesn't meow. Yeah, he does meow. Let me tell you, especially in the evening. Like, what's up, dude? What you want? And then I pet him. And then he doesn't really play. But he's old. So I'm kind of just like, okay, live out your years, buddy. Yeah, and he goes and sniffs things. Yeah. Now I feel like he's annoying, but he's cute. He's cute. I like him enough. I mean, I let him live here, rent free. I say rent free like that because that's the joke about pets. Anywho, okay. So we don't like this this house, and then we started getting notices. Oh yeah, and I remember I wrote, okay, 2023, my sister was in school. So she was like, I'm MIA. I gotta do me, this school's hella stressful, which I get. I get that, right? I went through nursing school. Like, I get it. You're doing you, you're making yourself a priority. I mean, snaps, right? Snaps. The snaps. Yeah. So, snaps to that. But then who has to be in charge? Me. And I don't like doing that. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But there's some resentment there. It's like, why do I have to do it? Yeah, there was a lot of resentment there, right? And I don't know if you and I talked about this, how I feel about, being the first gen. First gen, it has two separate definitions. It's like you're the first person to come to a place, and then also you're the child of immigrants. And so that's what I mean by first gen. The child of immigrants is really hard, especially if English is their second language and they they don't speak English well, and their wife who was head of the household dies unexpectedly, and it's just like, fuck, now I'm in charge. Dude, I was hella bitter, dude. I was. Oh man. And so dad tells me that he started getting notices. Like, oh, if I don't pay them money, I'm going to lose the house. I was like, the fuck is that bullshit? That's scam. That's a scam. And I sent him a article, like a few, like, this is what a scam looks like, right? I mean, it smelled of a scam, right? Oh, they're sending more notices. I'm like, no, they're just being not persuasive, consistent or persistent. They're just being persistent. And so, anyway, I fucked up. Yeah, yeah, I fucked up. Those were real. Those were real as fuck. And when my sister looked into it, because I didn't look into it, because I know it all, assumed it was fake, but my sister was like, I don't know, man, this looks real. And then when she looked into it, it was a little bit getting late. It was kind of late. Like the house was going for auction and stuff like that. I think a new thing is that Pluto likes going underneath the covers. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, have fun. So, so anyhow, we've gone through a lot of grief. We've accepted it because we acted too late. Moral of the story is what? Is it might look it might look like a scam, but look into it, right? But to be honest, I feel like, can't believe I'm saying this. This all kind of happened for a reason. Like I said, like I've been saying, oh my God, how cute. He's just, okay. He chilled underneath the covers for like 5 seconds. Makes sense, kind of. Okay, so no one lived in this house. And granted, we lost a lot of money, right? Like 200 grand. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. But it's not like we ever saw that money like and or now, So so to me, it's not like I'm not grieving this loss. Like, yeah, I don't know. I well, maybe I'll grieve it later, but I feel like it was kind of for a reason. And then I've accepted that I fucked up. I was the one who fucked up, right? That was my bad. Granted, everybody has a role to play here in responsibility. It's like, Dad, you signed those papers. You know what I mean? You can't just dump everything on us. Like, I get that's how it is, but that's not going to fly, right? And so what I am grateful for though is that he kept on saying like, we're not placing any blame, but I was like, but is that you trying to not place blame on me? Kind of sounds like it, right? Uh, yeah, but he does realize that like the most important thing is us, and I'm just like so grateful, like us, like that we're still a family, that we're healthy, like that. And so, and yeah, and then now that I'm helping him, I try not to be mean to him because that's historically I can yell, and like talk back. Um, yeah, so with with Dad, I'm really grateful that we all support each other. Yeah, that's how it is now. So that's really good. I'm grateful for that. Um, so okay, here's the thing that inspired me today, that made me feel really happy. My dad, he called me, or I called him because it's my day off, and my dad was like, "Please just call me every day because I worry about you guys." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So then today was my day off, and so I called him, and then he was telling me the stuff, and he said, "Christine, will you help me with a down payment?" And immediately I was just like, "What the fuck?" In my mind, right? I was just like, "What the fuck you talking about? $1 million house in the Bay Area, bruh? Who has that money? I don't. I don't. Not me. Not me. I don't have no down payment for a anyway." But he was like, "Yeah, for a mobile home that's close to your Tita Karen, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh shit, that's an amazing idea." Because mobile homes, they look like homes, right? They look like a regular. They look pretty much like a regular ass house, um, but they're mobile. Like, you could split them typically, or traditionally, you could like split them in half and go on one of those big bed trailers, and move them to where you want to move. So it's a mobile home. Uh, Mobile home. Yeah, but the only downside is you are renting the property that you stay on. So that's not your property, and this is why they don't cost as much. So this is an amazing idea that my dad wants to split on a down payment on a mobile home because it will be close to his family, as in his siblings and his mom, my grandma, who's alive, and my grandpa died last November. I cried about my grandpa here. Yeah, second episode. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's just a great idea, and then Dad will be closer to us, his kids. Hello, Dad's getting older. He's retired now. So it'll be great. And like the last of his siblings is finally moving here, is finally immigrating here, which is incredible. So it's like they can all be together. It's perfect. It's so perfect. And you know what I was thinking? Because I have really excellent credit, and also I have enough for the down payment. So I was like, I wonder, because I feel like it would take so much, coordinating for like multiple people to be like on the loan and all this stuff. It's like, maybe I can just do this all by myself. I'm not trying to gift them a house because I have shame around this, that I should have a lot more saved in relation to what I make. But of course, the argument is I've lived a very full life, you know, like I've lived a very full life. And so anyway, yeah. So that and for some reason, I was just preparing for a negative reaction because I wanted it to be a positive reaction from my sister. I texted her this morning. I was like, yeah, you know, dad wants to do this and he wants our help with the down payment. And then she was like, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. And I was like, oh good. Yay, we're all happy. So anyway, I think this is the best. Like, I mean, this sounds so weird to say, but it's like maybe we lost this house that's so far away that doesn't give us any value besides money. Literally just sitting cash, just a sitting cash money, right? And it's like, and then now we can have a place that's affordable, close to family. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think this is really perfect. Yeah. And that's what I felt about this house too, because dad has all his siblings here now, and it's like, and they're all crammed into this one house, and it's just like, I wish we could help. We have this beautiful house going unused. Like feels like such a waste. And now we can be like, okay, we own this thing. It doesn't have as much value as the old house, but it's like, but it is valuable. It's gonna be so valuable to the family. Oh, I'm like almost put to tears because I'm so happy. It's so great. Very good. Ah, yeah, yeah. I think that's it. Capitalism will fuck you up, right? Like that equity shit fucked us up. Like they don't give a fuck about you and your home. Thank God we weren't living there. Could you imagine if we had to move in a few months and take out all our shit in the same? Oh my gosh. Anyway, ugh, greed. Yeah. So that's why I'm here to talk about my mental health. Thanks for listening. See you next time.